Hi everybody. I know it's been a little while. Have a lot to share with you guys, but not gonna share it just yet. Uh, but it's been a lot going on, a lot of great things. It's just been a roller coaster of a good 2.5 to 3 months. But I wanted to just bring a little awareness to what is going on in the month of June. For those who don't know, June is Hidradenitis Suppurativa Awareness Month, and the actual HS week is what we call it for short, was earlier this month. And I wanted to do like this whole segment about it, and I honestly think I'm gonna do another video down the line where I can talk more in depth about it, add some pictures about my own experiences with HS, and you know, but we'll get to that. But I really wanted to talk about it before the month is over. We just have a few days left in the month of June, and so I wanted to really talk about HS for a while now, for as long as I can remember. There was no name to this thing that I had, right? And I've had HS for over 20 years now. I first started to see symptoms, and it started back like when I was in 10th grade. I remember I was 15 years old, and I would say about 14, 15 years old. I had like these painful bumps underneath my arm, right? And I thought it was because maybe I started shaving and I wasn't doing something right, but they just grew and it was painful, and I was kind of embarrassed, kind of a little bit, to talk about it or to ask my parents about it. Like, I just thought it would go away. I heard of ingrown hairs, so I thought that's what it was. And you know, at the time they would be like little tiny like hard bumps, and they would go away. But then as time went on, them things started to just like grow, and they would come to a head, and it was just gross. And I can talk about this openly, right? Because this is a video about hidradenitis suppurativa, and it's for anybody that wants to just kind of feel like they're not alone, or to gather some type of knowledge about it. And I'm not a scientist, a doctor. I am not a researcher. Even though I did kind of research what was going on, I'm not like a deep person that can go into the deep dives of HS, right? So I can only talk about my experience. But it just got worse over time, and probably like in my early to mid 20s is when it really started to, you know, rear its ugly head, literally. And it was really at that time very embarrassing. I would go to events or go on vacation, and I just don't even know how I just endured that pain and didn't say anything. Like, why did I do that? It would come to a head, these ugly, nasty things under my arm, and they would smell, and I just was so far away from home that I couldn't change my shirts. My shirts would be stained. I would have to throw them away, and it was just a hot mess. And I remember going to the doctors. Like, I did tell my mom, like, you know, something's going on. And we went to primary care, And this is when I was still in my teens, right? And I was telling the doctor what was going on. And at that time, there was no name for it. Or if it was, that doctor didn't know what it was. So she just said, you know, cut back on your sodium. And I probably could have definitely cut back on a lot of things at that time. I was overweight. And for those that don't know, being overweight is a contributing factor of HS. Like, not every person that's overweight will have HS, but if you have gained weight substantially in a small amount of time, you could develop it. Some researchers and scientists and doctors, whomever, they say that it is hereditary in some cases. And I don't really know too many people, or if anybody in my family has it. If they do, they haven't openly talked about it. But it was just a roller coaster of frustrations, because I needed to know what I had. I knew it was something. It wasn't just ingrown hairs. It was painful. It was annoying. It was just unbearable sometimes. And I was like, this is crazy. There has to be somebody out there like me. There has to be a name for this thing. So I started to do my own deep dive on the symptoms. I just Googled, and this was like, oh, this was a long time ago. This is how I even, you know how people say, like, don't self-diagnose yourself? I end up doing it because there was nobody out there that could, you know, sit down to tell me, like, yes, this is what you have, this is what you do. There was nothing, okay? And I'm talking about, this was in the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s. Like, there was nobody out there to tell me that this thing is called hidradenitis suppurativa, okay? So I did my research. I put in what was going on, and basically it's like the swelling of the lymph nodes, and I mean, don't be all in the comments, y'all, about, you know, well, actually, it's not this, it's that. Like, okay, I know what I know, and it might not be 100% accurate, but I know a little something, okay? But from what I know, you have lymph nodes behind your ears, like back here. You have them underneath your arms, of course. You have them like in your breast, chest area, and I think in your ankles, I think, like around your ankles, and in between your thighs, because I have breakouts there too, child. And whew, it could be really just so painful and so annoying. But anyway, I did my research, and I was like, wow, these are all the symptoms I have. I must have this thing. And it took me a long time to like pronounce it correctly. I was like, dang, like, is this a disease? Am I dirty? You know? And it's not something you catch. It's not contagious. And for people out there that have been recently diagnosed or have been diagnosed for a long time, and you just think that something's wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with you. You're extra special, extra unique. And I know that is not what you want to hear, but for a person that has dealt with this to a very extreme length, for lack of better terms, like, I have been through the ringer with this thing. It has been very nasty, very painful, searing pain, stinky, nasty. It's just a hot mess when you have a breakout. So I want you to know that you know, it's nothing wrong with you. It's just something that unfortunately has happened, you know. But once I figured out that is what I had, I did go to the doctors eventually to be formally diagnosed. And my doctor was like, "Oh yeah, that's what you have." It was no test. It was me basically saying, "This is what I have and this is what I came up with." And the doctor was like, "Well, yeah, that's what it is." Go figure, right? But throughout the years, I have learned when my triggers happen. I have learned how to accommodate the pain, how to deal with the pain. And yeah, as far as triggers go, if I'm highly stressed, or if I'm near my menstruation. Now, it doesn't happen all the time during menstruation, but sometimes it does. But if I'm just like in a highly stressful moment in life, I could have a trigger and I could have a breakout. The seasons, when seasons change, in the past 3 or 4 years, I noticed that I had breakouts around between May and June. Like, it was almost clockwork. Like, when June, like late May, June would come, I could feel it. And if you have HS, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you don't even have to see anything. It's kind of like an impending storm. You feel like a tenderness where the breakout is, and it's going to come. And it's going to rear its ugly head, okay? And sometimes it depends on what you wear. You have to be mindful of like really tight clothing. I remember my last breakout between my thighs, like I wore like some scrubs that were a size too small. They were cut small. And after I took them off, like within 24 hours, I felt that tenderness. I was like, oh man, here we go. And it was not great, okay? I'm just trying, I didn't write anything down. Like, I really just wanted to put this video out there because there is somebody out there that is really struggling with this. Like, this can really put you on your back, and not in a good way. It could really like make you just want to cry. And there have been times where I cried because I'm like, dang, like, why? You know? Why do I have this? Why do I have this? And as far as like shaving and things like that, I do shave when, as much as possible. I mean, okay, you gotta be real with it. Like, if you're having like a breakout, you don't want to irritate that area. So if you are dating or if you are in a serious relationship, you have to have a partner that really understands what you're going through. You have to have a partner that is very caring and very sensitive about what's going on with you. Because if you don't, it ain't gonna be good for, it's just not for your self-esteem, for your self-confidence. You need a strong person that really loves you and cares for you, that's not going to care if you miss a couple of times shaving because you're having a breakout. Okay. As far as relief, just hot compress. A lot of people go to the doctors to have it lanced. I never went to the doctors to have my HS breakouts lanced. I don't like to say boils. I think that sounds like gross. But I never had them lanced. I always just kind of either let them do their thing. Sometimes it would go down on its own, and sometimes it would come to a head. A lot of times it would just come to a head, and I would just kind of take it easy during those times and just wait and pray and lay. Wait, pray, lay. Okay. Okay. But hot compresses to your whatever area is breaking out. Also watch what you eat during that time. I don't really have the list or whatever of what to eat, what not to eat. But they do say, they is the scientists and doctors, they say to kind of lay off dairy, because dairy is a trigger. And I do like dairy. Not a lot. Like, I mean, I can go without, but I do like it. They just say lay off certain things. So sugars, anything that would trigger an outbreak, to just kind of take it easy. Okay. Mind your stress levels too. If you feel like you are overwhelmed or you are having some stressful moments, take some time. Bless you. Take some time off. Take some time off of work. Work will be there when you get back. Okay. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, but this thing is like the silent takedown. Not the silent killer, because nobody from what I know has died from HS, but it can be like a tie-in to other health issues. So if you do feel like you have HS, definitely talk to your doctor. I feel like a lot of new research and new medicines have come out in the more recent decades, in the last 10 years or so, to help combat this. I don't personally take prescriptions because it's not as extreme as other people's breakouts may be. Some people have breakouts on their face. Some people have just really, really bad breakouts that are just absolutely debilitating, right? And they have to have surgery. It just takes them down, right? But again, this was just a small little chat about hidradenitis suppurativa, because it was the month, and I wanted to just put it out there that you are not by yourself. I'm not embarrassed to say that I have it. I just don't talk about it often because it's not something that you bring up at the water cooler. It's not something that you bring up at the party like, hey, I got HS, what about you? Like, who does that, right? But I did want to put it out there that if you do have what you think is HS, just like redness and swelling in your lymph node areas underneath your arms, underneath your breast, and between your thighs, and it's very painful, tender to the touch, please go see your doctor, so you don't have to self-diagnose yourself. Self-diagnose yourself, does that sound right? Anyway, you don't have to do that. Like, it's so much out there now that can help you. You don't have to be like 15-year-old me trying to figure it out by herself. Yeah. So if you have any questions, I feel like I was kind of like here and there, up and down, talking about this. You can ask me whatever in the comment section, and I will check as much as I can to answer whatever questions you do have. And if I can't answer it, then I will just direct you to the sources, the powers that be, aka your doctor, or they do have so many articles about HS now. Like, even I still go back to read like whatever is new out there. They have a new prescription and it's actually a commercial. I was like, wow, they got commercials about HS. Go ahead. But it's so many people out there with it, but they're embarrassed about it. They don't want to talk about it. But let's please get this out there and spread the message about HS, because you don't have to suffer by yourself. I even recently found out that 2 very close friends of mine have HS. I would have never known. And now that I know, now that we all know that we have it, we can, help each other get through the moments of breakout times. You don't have to feel like we're by ourselves, The last breakout that I had was just a few months ago, and I spent the whole weekend in the house. Like, and I went to work, and I stand like 90 to 95% of my work time, and I was trying to like not make it noticeable, but one of my coworkers was like, why are you walking like that? Because it was hurting me so bad, but I didn't want to take off. And like, y'all, don't be like me. Please don't be like me. Just trying to be superwoman, going to work, don't want to call out. Your job will be there, okay? Take care of yourself. I should have been in bed laying down, and trust me, I spent that whole weekend laying down. I could not move. I could not barely go to the bathroom. I could barely like skip down the steps to get me something to drink. Like, it was bad, okay? But I pray that, a cure is on its way. I've had this for 20 plus years, like I said, so there's no cure yet. There's no cure for this. There's no cure for this. But there is things that you can do to relieve yourself of the pain. And there are people out there that are suffering right along with you, okay? Including me. And I'm having a downtime moment. What do you call that? Remission? I don't know if that's the right word, but no, I just don't know. I be lost for words for sometimes. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, the words don't always come. That's crazy. I mean, I can I can write you, you know, a song, okay? I could write you a poem, but when I'm looking for a word, it doesn't always come. So sorry about that. But I'm in a space and time where I don't have any breakouts at the moment, but they can come at any given time. And you just have to hunker down, I guess. Get those hot water bottles ready, get your hot bath ready, soak and rest, and drink your water. Like, my problem is staying hydrated. I do not drink enough water. I have water here that I'm going to drink soon before I go to bed. But please just stay hydrated as much as you can. And yeah, this was 25 minutes. It was only supposed to be like a little, hey, I got HS, how about you, kind of video. But hopefully it helped somebody, and hopefully it gave you a little bit of an enlightenment about what hidradenitis suppurativa is. Like I said, I don't have all of the facts. I got some of the facts, and your girl has experienced quite a few of her own little incidences. Is that how you say that word? Anyway, girl, child, man, boy, girl, woman, I've gone through it all with HS. And a lot of my symptoms had subsided for a while. I had lost some weight, and I didn't gain it all back. I gained some weight back, but I lost quite a bit of weight, and I hadn't had a breakout at that time for like 2 years. And I was like, wow, maybe it's over for good. But child, it just came back out of nowhere, like, gotcha. And so yeah, but it hasn't been as bad as it was years ago, like in my early 20s. That was like the roaring lion of my HS journey, for real. But anywho, like I said, if you have any questions or comments, you know what to do. But I do love all of y'all that are suffering from this, or just simply want some information about it. If you know somebody that has it, let them know that it's okay. You know, they're not alone, they're not dirty, they're not contagious, just something that has happened. Some people have other things that you don't have, like they may have a scalp issue, they may have and HS is a skin disease. You know, it's you know, things just happen like that. The human body is interesting, and interesting things happen, you know. And this is just something that happened to you, that happened to me. But we aren't HS. HS just happened to be what we have, but that's not the end all be all. Okay? It's okay. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. Get that hot water bottle, child. Get some water, put your feet up, and chill. Okay, take the day off. Your arm is hurting. Your thigh is throbbing. And some people have it even in between their butt. I mean, I gotta say it. Some people have breakouts in between their butt cheeks. So yeah, if you got a boil in between your butt, stay home and get that taken care of. Take a bath. Okay? Don't go to work with your butt cheek throbbing. Don't go to work with your arm throbbing. You can't hardly lift up and do your job right. People trying to figure out why you walking funny. It ain't because you had a good time. It's because you hurting for real. Okay? So I love you. Signing off, a girl with HS, just trying to show some love to other people that have it too. So like I said, comment down below, all that good stuff, and I will talk to you guys soon. I have some really great updates for everyone out there that cares to know what the updates are. Some really huge, great testimonies still in the works, still literally in the works. So I'll check y'all later. Again, I love you. Stay strong, stay sweet, stay kind, stay assertive. Don't be letting nobody get at you. You better get at them. Anyway, I'll check for y'all later. Bye.